welcome back to the German Journey. I am Matthias, also known as Der FM Scribe. Welcome back to the channel and the series. In the last episode, kind of gave you a little overview of the squad, of the club, and what this series is. Today, I'm going to dive into tactics. So here we are on the Tactics Creator screen. I do like the way it looks here with the FM23 skin. If you want to check that out, link down in the description. You can get it through the Steam Workshop, which is my preferred way of getting any types of mods or skins for any games that I have through Steam. So last episode kind of went through the squad a little bit, and today we're going to build the tactic around it. So given the analysis I've already done of the squad, and if you want to, I could go through a full analysis here as far as going through this little thing here in the squad planner and the report, the comparison, but why? I can just tell you some of the things. So we're going to go to the squad overview, and here you can see this is press possession attributes. This is the way that Jens Scribe, me personally, I prefer to play football and see football played, and that is kind of possession and pressing kind of combined in a system. And these are all the key attributes. Now, I kept in, obviously, the name, the position, the age, the ability, and the potential, just as a good guideline. What I can do here is filter out the goalkeepers because they're not as important to me here. But these are the key attributes that I see it for a possession pressing game. So these are all the physical attributes, or these are the key mental physical attributes for if you want to play an aggressive press. That's, of course, aggression, bravery, determination, teamwork, work rate, natural fitness, and stamina. You're asking a lot of your players, both physically and mentally. And a quick glance, you can see a lot of yellow and green numbers here. So green is 15 and above. Yellow, I've got 11 and above. The lowest we have in here, 8 and 9 for two young players, one on loan and one kind of a backup. So I'm not overly worried there. The only other one is Sebastian Kiak, maybe a little bit. Then we've got acceleration and pace. This is just a good benchmark to see how to build up. If you want to build up quickly, if you want to build up over the flanks or whatever. And then these are kind of some core mental and technical attributes for possession, for a passing technical game. So we have composure, we have decisions, we have passing, we have technique, and we have first touch. You can see first touch is probably our weakest overall. Technique isn't bad, passing's pretty good, decisions, composure, overall pretty good. Nobody really low there. 9, 10, like 8 to 10 is about average, very average. 9 and 10, bang on average. So the way I look at it here, we're pretty good there. Again, we have some weak spots here. Henrik Weidand, but I want to get rid of him. Luka Kranjic, he's a backup. Julian Börner, okay. Technique and first touch isn't great as kind of your rough central defender. But overall, it kind of works. I think we can make this work. But when we look at these attributes, these core ones, overall, really good. I mean, look at Fabian Kunze here. These core pressing attributes, 15 to 18. Same for Enzo Leopold, who's really young. I mean, 13 in aggression, 14 in stamina. Everything else is 15. We've got 116 here in work rate. So this team can press aggressively for a long period. Because if we also look at natural fitness and stamina, overall, it's really good. Really good. So they can press for the majority of a match, which is great. So again, if you look at these attributes here, why I see them as so important, also in acceleration and pace, we've got decent pace. It's not a super fast team. So what that means to me, maybe not necessarily a breakaway counterattacking side per se, even though we do have some speed demons in here. But a little bit more patient, but we've got some pace at the fullback position. You can see this standout right here. These are all the fullbacks plus one of our central defenders, but really these are all the fullbacks between 15 and 17. So we've got some pace on the wings, decent pace and acceleration in central locations. There's really a lot we can do with this team. We can be patient at times, we can go counterattacking at times, but we can always press. So back to the 4-2-3-1. We're just going to build this one for right now. I will eventually put in a second tactic that I will probably build in towards the end of the preseason so as they can focus all their effort on this one primary tactic. So we're going to go mentality first. We're going to go with a balanced mentality. I'm not going to go positive yet. We can adjust this a little bit. Now, again, this is your risk-taking. So we're going to balance out risk-taking right now. I think overall, we're probably going to go positive home and against teams below us, and then go balanced away from home or against teams like Düsseldorf, Nürnberg, and especially HSV. In possession. So what I want to do, since we have so much pace and strength and creativity coming in off of the wings, I want to build up in the wide spots, wide spaces. So we're going to do just a standard attacking width for now. I want to focus play down the left and right. And what that'll mean is we'll have kind of they'll start to move more into the right and left half spaces. Will create overloads there, which is really important. I'm going to play out of defense. Now, we don't have the greatest ball playing defenders, but my goal here is to draw the opposition in towards us. Again, we're going to be favorites in most matches. So the key thing is, how can you create space? Well, one of it is by playing out of defense, you naturally draw the opposition towards you. And by doing that, then we've got some space to work with. Passing directness, I want to go shorter. We're going to go with a slightly lower tempo to start with, kind of patiently build up, and then hit them. Everything else, I'm going to leave as is right now. We could be more expressive, dribble more, play for set pieces. Hit early crosses isn't bad if the opposition is sitting really deep, because this just speeds up our transitions, but then we're going to mess with passing directness and tempo. Work ball in the box, just be a little bit more patient, but we're just going to leave that off right now. Same with crosses. So not a ton going here in possession. If we go into transition, we are definitely going to counter press and we're going to counter. I want to distribute to fullbacks and center backs. We're going to take short kicks because Robert Zieler isn't the greatest passer of the ball, but he's okay. But this controls it a little bit. Counter press, of course, we're aggressive. Occasionally, I'll tick this off if we want to retain our shape. But as you saw just previously, a little bit of analysis, we can press a lot. And that will be reflected here. Counter, this is when we have the opportunity for a quick transition. Then we need to be able to take it, and that's where counter comes in. And then out of possession, we're going to push up to a high block, a high press at least, but keep a standard defensive line. We don't have super speedy central defenders. And by building up this way with a double pivot, we have multiple options. And sitting a little bit deep, have to keep a mind on the fact that our opposition is probably going to try to hit us on the break quite often, since we are favorites going into most matches. So this just gives us a little bit security, and building up a little bit deeper also draws the opposition out a little bit and opens up some space. Of course, we're going to trigger press more often. I could do prevent short goalkeeper distribution, but I don't expect a ton of teams to build out from the back. When they do, I can add that on there. We're just going to leave it as is. Everything else, we're just going to leave. So that's really the only thing we're going to do in our out of possession defensive shape. Now, let's get into the roles. We're going to go with a sweeper keeper on support to begin with. I just realized I still have that filter on, so I'll get the goalkeepers on here. There we go. So scroll down here. Robert Zieler is going to be our starting sweeper keeper with Leo Weinkauf on the bench. Central defenders, we're just going to leave them as is, not changing anything here. Central defenders on defend. We're going to have Julian Börner on the left-hand side and Phil Neumann on the right-hand side. We're going to put Are and B already on the bench. And this spot here, kind of a backup central defender who can play on the right side as well, or prefers that, or is neutral about his side preference, is still going to come in there. Say Muroya is going to be our starting fullback, and we're going to go with a fullback on attack. So they're a little bit more controlled than a wingback on attack, but we do want some overlaps on this side. Natural ones. And Yannick Dame is going to be the backup. Then Derek Kuhn, going to be a starting fullback on the left side. He's a great wingback on support. So he's not amazing defensively, but we're going to adjust for that here in a minute. This also creates some overlaps on the left-hand side. What I'm going to tell him to do, I'm not going to tell him to stay wide just yet. We're going to leave them as is. Now, I could move them to sit narrow, but we're going to keep an eye on this just a little bit. The reason why I would have them sit narrow is just for build-up, but we're going to leave this as is, just for right now to begin with. Then Etienne Chelebi will be the backup there. Fabian Kunze, we're going to put him here on the left-hand side, and he will be a ball-winning midfielder on defense. So he's going to be the destroyer. Why on the left-hand side? Because we got a wing back here, so they leave gaps. I'm going to have an attacking player up here in the AML position. So this just gives us a little bit of defensive solidity on that left-hand side. On the right-hand side, we're going to put Gael here on the bench. And so Leopold is going to start on the bench, and Max Bezushkov. This will be our playmaker. I haven't decided if I want to go with a deep-lying playmaker on support for build-up. I want to go with a roaming playmaker or with a regista. Regista is a more aggressive player. We're going to start with Regista. This is one of those players, one of those positions that we're going to tinker with a little bit here. Maybe not during preseason, because preseason friendlies are what they are. But I'm going to keep an eye on it, track it, and then make adjustments here to fine-tune this position. Other than that, what we're going to do here is really nothing else. We're going to keep everything kind of as is. I am going to tell him, let's see, already takes fewer risks. Got everything we need here. So the goal here is for him to lay the ball off to the regista or to the wingback or to one of these players ahead of him. On the right-hand side. Now, here, we're going to go with an inverted winger on support. I'm going to have him start wider, and I want him to tackle hard. I have all these guys, all these players here tackle hard. And who I'm going to play there is, where are we? Louis Schaub is going to start off. Now, an inverted winger is more about chance creation. Inside forward is more about goal scoring. So that's the big difference here. The goal here is he's going to stay wide, cut inside, and look to create chances for those around him. His backup, I haven't really decided. Probably going to put Stolze for now. We'll see. Sebastian Kieck, we're going to put him here centrally as an attacking midfielder on support. And we're going to add some stuff here. He's going to tackle harder. He's going to move into channels, and he's going to roam from position. So this is kind of your floater position in that number 10 spot. Not going to go with a playmaker just yet. His backup, we're going to put Antonio Foti in as his backup here. And then on the left-hand side, I am going to put Maximilian Bayer on the bench because we're going to put Cedric Teuchert in a position that he's not super familiar with. I'm going to train him in it. I want him to play as an inside forward on attack. Why? If we look at it real quick, an inside forward on attack, he has great attributes for that. He's got great off the ball, good flair, good acceleration and pace, agility and balance, dribbling, finishing, first touch. Really, really good. I think that could be one of those positions, especially with that inverted winger coming in here, looking to create chances, him cutting inside. We're going to make sure he tackles hard and stays wide. I think I have him tackle hard. Yep. So they're going to start in a wide position to cut inside. Again, I haven't decided whether or not I want my fullbacks to sit narrow just yet. We're going to keep an eye on that, but maybe I will. But this creates some natural later overlaps with him coming in, and then also the fullback on attack coming down here, crossing it in. I just see this as a great place to score some goals. And then up top, we are going to have Håvard Nielsen. And I'm going to start him off as a pressing forward on attack. And this is also one of those where we kind of want to see what happens. Kind of keep an eye on it a little bit. Other than that, we're not going to change anything there. And then, of course, we're going to put Nico Tisoldi on the bench to back him up. And then our remaining players here on the bench as well. That is the tactic we're going to go with here to start the season with Hannover 96. So today is going to be it's a little bit of a shorter episode. I'm going to work on set pieces. I'm going to review that as well eventually because we have some really good set piece takers. If we look at set piece takers, got some good corner takers. Louis Schaub, Kerk, and Leopold can all curl the ball, which is great. Free kick takers, we've got some good ones here. Derek Kuhn and Kerk, both K and K, like long-range free kicks, so that's great. And then long throw-ins, we've got a few here, in Dame, Moroya, and Kuhn, so are our fullbacks, and then Chalebi as well, kind of a backup. So we're definitely going to have long throw-in takers here. So set pieces are going to be important, but you noticed I didn't play for set pieces because I, don't want to do that just yet. We're going to tinker a little bit, but I think this gives us a good foundation to start with. We're going to rename this one real quick. Give it a name. We're going to call it H96 4231. Very, well, as I smack my microphone, very ingenious, I know. We're just going to keep it as that, but have it saved. And this we're going to save as basic wide build up. So this is just a wide build up play, possession, pressing. And we'll kind of see how this progresses moving forward. So there you have it, a relatively quick tactics building episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on the tactic that's being built, and don't forget to hit that like button. The next episode will be starting the season. I'm going to work through preseason friendlies here off camera. And until next time, I am Matthias, aka Der FM Scribe, and I will talk to you soon.